Hello there, Year 3. Now, I'm here today to go through your activity for maths. So, I've just taken one of your activities. It is called subtracting fractions. Now, you should have spent the last couple of minutes going through subtracting fractions, but today, this activity is more about the focus on simplifying, because I feel that will probably be more helpful rather than the subtraction. I will do the first couple together with you, just to remind you and just to walk you through what you need to do. So for question A, it is 7/10. Would help if my pen worked. 7/10, take away 1/10. Okay, so 7/10 take away 1/10. Now I'm just going to draw my bar model. Always really useful to draw a bar when you are using fractions. It is the go-to place. I'm going to split it into 10 equal parts because the denominator is what? It's 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 equal parts. Now, if I'm starting off with 7/10, I don't need to shade the entire thing because my numerator is telling me 7/10, if you can just about see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, my pen decides to wake up now. Now, I need to take away 1/10. So as you should have done before, I just need to then cross out 1/10. So how many tenths am I left with now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7/10 take away 1/10 is 6/10. And that's what you need to fill in the first box on the activity sheet here. However, there's an equal sign, which means the same as, it's equivalent to something. Now, last week we looked at equivalent fractions, which is basically the same as simplifying it, but simplifying means you're making the fraction, the numbers, slightly smaller, but the value is still the same. So, I've got out my trusty faithful fraction wall. It's a very jazzy one. I went for the rainbow coloured theme today. And first of all, we need to look at 6/10 because that is our answer over here. So I'm going to go down my fraction wall and find the tenths first, and it is in the blue. Now I need to find 6/10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to draw a little line just in there. I don't know if you can see it very well. Nice big line there. That is 6/10. Now I need to simplify 6/10 into a slightly smaller fractioned number, but the value being the same. I'm actually going to use a ruler. I'm going to line my ruler up on here to see if it lines up with any other lines on my fraction wall. Now it doesn't line up with my ninths because it cuts through, nor my eighths because it cuts through there. Sevenths, not quite. Sixths, not quite. But the fifths, it lines up with perfectly. Can you see? They line up absolutely perfectly. How many fifths is the same as 6/10? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. So 6/10 is the same as 3/5. So I'm just going to rub this out now. 6/10, oh, my pen's decided to go a bit funny again, is the same as 3/5. Now, just have a look at those numbers and see if you can spot something with them. 6/10, 3/5. Let's have a look at the two denominators first. What is similar about these two denominators? What patterns can you spot? Well, 5 is half of 10. So I've had to divide it by 2 to get to 5. So remember what I said last week, what you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Can you divide 6 by 2? Well, yeah, half of 6 is 3. So that's a really good pattern, Year 3. What you do to the bottom, you can do to the top. So you're looking for common numbers that you can divide both sets by. We'll have a go at another one and see if you can spot that pattern on the next one. So the next question is 7/10 take away 2/10. So 7/10 take away 2/10. So I'm going to draw my bar. How many parts do I need to split my bar into for this one? Oh, I can hear you calling. It's 10 because my denominator is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they're not very equal parts, so I do apologise. Just checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, have a look at my first calculation. What do I need to do? I've drawn out my bar model, my tenths. How many parts do I need to shade? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've done this first part, what do I now need to do? Do I need to add on 2 more tenths? Well, no, because I'm taking it away. So how many tenths do I need to take away? 2, of course. So I'm going to put 1 big cross here and 1 big cross here. So how many tenths am I left with? Now let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm left with 5 tenths here. So then on activity B, you can now fill in on the first box 5 tenths. But we've got our little sneaky equals sign there. We've got to have to simplify it again. So something that is equivalent to 5 tenths. So I'm going to get out my trusty fraction wall. Hey. So this time we're looking at 5 tenths. We're still starting off with our tenths. I'm going to go down on my fraction wall to where tenths is. Ta-da, here it is. Now I'm looking at 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to draw a really heavy line so you can just about see it on there. So that's 5 tenths. And if I were to shade it in, that would shade 5 tenths because I've shaded 5 of my tenths. Now I'm going to look for a fraction that is the same as 5 tenths. Now I'm going to get my ruler and line it up. Some of you might have already spotted already looking at the numbers 5 tenths. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness me, what can we see? We've got 5 tenths. We've got, it lines up with the eighths. How many eighths is that? 1, 2, 3, 4 eighths. I wonder if you can spot. I'm just going to write this down. Oh, 4 eighths. Any others? Let's have a look. Carrying on up. Oh, it lines up with this 6 here. How many 6? 1, 2, 3, 6. I'll write that down. I wonder if you can start spotting what's going on here. At the next one. Carrying on, not the 5ths because we're halfway through that one. Oh, what about here? It lines up here. Quarters, 2 quarters. I can still keep going up though, so I can simplify it even more. Line it back up. And the last one, half. It doesn't go into the third, it goes into the half, 1/2. So all of these fractions are the same value, the same size as 5 tenths because they are all half. And if you look at the numbers, you can see 5 tenths, so 5 is half of 10, 4 eighths, 4 is half of 8, 3 6, 3 is half of 6, 2 quarters, 2 is half of 4, 1/2, 1 is half of 2. But I'm going to choose the most smallest denominator, which is half, because I'm going to simplify it down. And actually, if you look at the numbers, 5 tenths and 1/2, what do I need to, if I were to use my knowledge of my times tables and my divisions, what do you notice about the 10 and the 2? How many 2's go into 10? 5. So I can divide it by 5. And what I do to the top, so what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Can you divide 5 by 5? Well, yes, you can. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So there you go, year 2. Not year 2s, you're not year 2s, year 3s. If you need some help with the simplifying, get a fraction wall or pause it here so you can have a look at this fraction wall here. Make sure you get your ruler. So pause it here. And then you can use this to help you with your simplifying today. Okay? Do give me an email if you have any problems at all. I'm here to help. But other than that, year 3s, have a lovely day doing some fractions. Here's a little sunshine for you to put in your pockets. Bye-bye.